Well, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mike Nutter, former mayor of the city of Philadelphia, and I'm so excited to be here with my good friend, Mayor Muriel Bowser. Mayor, so excited to be here with you this afternoon. We've seen you numerous times, incredible leadership over the past few years, but certainly last year, in 2020, with civil unrest, the George Floyd protests, the Black Lives Matter movement. I think I even saw you with a paintbrush or painting the plaza. Mayors do it all, and you are out there on the front lines. So how you doing? How's it going?
I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay, Mayor. And you know well that we don't know always what will be thrown at us as mayors of major cities. And I just couldn't be prouder of my team, not only for the last 6 years of my tenure, but especially for the last year, as we have fought just an unprecedented pandemic and what it's done to the way we live.
Well, Mayor, the thing that's quite unique, and I want to have some conversation about it, unlike any other city in the United States of America, and certainly, I brag on, of course, Philadelphia, birthplace of freedom, liberty, and democracy, but, that changed a number of years ago, a lot of years ago, and Washington, D.C. Became the center of power for the government of the United States of America. And so you have a particularly unique position as mayor of Washington, D.C. Many of the things that you're doing, many of the things that you talked about would often be, in my situation, that would be a partnership between the city and the state.
That's correct.
Let's talk about Washington, D.C. Being the 51st state of the United States of America. You, again, are providing that leadership in that particular effort, but bring us up to date on what is really going on and even some near-term events.
Sure. So you've got it exactly right. We are completely unique in the American system. Not exactly a city, not exactly a state, a federal district, but not a territory. And so what that means is 700,000 people live here, pay taxes, go to war, have all the responsibilities of American citizenship. In fact, we pay more taxes per capita than any state, but we don't have voting representation in the Congress. Our Congresswoman doesn't have the vote, and we do not have 2 senators. So that is the predicament of DC residents. The DC statehood movement is not a new one. It's decades old, but certainly right now, in my opinion, is our best opportunity for full American citizenship. Next week, I'll testify in the House, like I did last year, on my Congresswoman's bill to make D.C. the 51st state. And the difference this year is that we control the House, and all House leadership supports D.C. statehood. In fact, it is mentioned in H.R. 1. We now control the Senate. Senate Majority Leader Schumer has pledged his support for D.C. statehood. And Joe Biden is in the White House, who's been a long supporter of D.C. statehood. So the time is right. And more than that, D.C. residents are ready. A couple of years ago, we had a vote on statehood. More than 86% of the people voted in favor. We have a new constitution that outlines how our state will run. And we've outlined the boundaries of our new state. So where all the people live like me, 700,000 of us will become the 51st state. And where the Congress and the White House and the Supreme Court, the National Mall will be the federal enclave or the federal district.
It's I'm not sure if many people think about it this way, but DC actually has more residents than at least 2 states in the United States of America.
That's right.
It's
almost. We have more than 2, and nearly as much as 2 others. So the argument that we're too small has been debunked. The argument that the Constitution doesn't allow it has also been debunked. That we have to have a constitutional amendment to be added to the Union, also untrue. Every state outside of the first 13 states have been admitted to the Union by a vote of the Congress. And that's what we are demanding as well.
Mayor, I seem to recall this from history. I think right at the start, when another group of people were seemingly in charge of the 13 colonies, as you mentioned, there was this feeling that taxation without representation is tyranny. The
Indeed.
people in
It's
Washington, D.C. are experiencing now, 200 plus years later, still experiencing taxation without representation. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, it's a bedrock of our nation's founding is that if you consent to be governed and consent to pay taxes, that you have to have a voice in that governance, and we simply lack that. And it is a perversion of our democracy. And in fact, there's no free democracy in the world where its capital citizens don't have a vote. So not only is it just fundamentally undemocratic, it just violates our principles of fairness and justice. And we think that it, in fact, is one of the key ideas that have to be righted in our march towards a more civil and just society.
You made mention of course, the pandemic, which again we continue to live through. You and your team back in 2020 were some of the earliest efforts put forward to have a comprehensive plan to help people and citizens deal with the coronavirus. And again, you've been acknowledged in your government for those efforts. But we also know that beyond the numbers, of course, there are real people who have been affected, who have been had the disease and even passed away. And you've again provided that kind of leadership for your citizens. At the same time, mayors are still people. And we have our lives and we have our families. And we all know that you've had your own personal experience in this regard. Certainly, as a friend, and, we've already been in touch, but, I just want to express my deepest condolences to you with regard to your sister. And if there's anything that you want to share to the broader audience about how people are dealing with this, but also, again, you are a leader and people look to you.
Well, I appreciate that, Mayor, and my family has certainly been touched by the outpouring of support and kindness that we received. And certainly, as somebody who has been fighting this virus, leading an American city, trying to keep people alive, it's been especially just hurtful for us that we lost our sister when we're so close to crushing this virus. So what I just want to remind everybody of is it's not over. And we have to continue to fight the virus, do all of the things that the public health officials tell us to do so that we can crush it and get back to our lives. And we've seen how important government is. And the first, it was testing and tracing to keep people alive. Now it's the vaccine rollout to make sure that the vaccine is not only getting out, but is getting out to the people who need it the most. It is making sure that we're supporting our small and local businesses who employ so many people so that we can come back. And it just demonstrates that this is not over. And this virus has exposed so many inequities already existing. And now we have to all focus on our recovery and how we recover more equitably. So when we come out on the other side of this thing, we're better, we're stronger, and we're more equitable.
Absolutely. Mayor, thank you so much for that message and lifting up the hearts and the leadership of not just yourself and your own team, but again, many of our participants at the City Lab. There's one person that you and I know very, very well who's also been a great leader in so many, many areas, whether as mayor, a philanthropist, and of course in the world of business, but also he's been leading the fight in the United States and around the world trying to help all of us deal with coronavirus. You know that I'm talking about, of course, our good friend, Mayor Mike Bloomberg. And
Yeah.
I want to, at this point in time, thank you for our
Thank you, Mayor.
opportunity to be together, but also now turn things over to Mayor Mike.